On November 1st, 2024, a tragic incident occurred in Novi Sad, Serbia's second largest city, when the collapse of the train station's roof resulted in the deaths of 16 people. In the aftermath, a former engineer involved in the building's renovation until March 2023 came forward, exposing major structural flaws. These revelations sparked nationwide outrage, with many citizens attributing the disaster to deep-rooted government corruption. Since then, protests and commemorative gatherings honoring the victims have been held regularly across the country. Students quickly emerged as the leaders of the protest movement, whose symbol became the bloody hand. As early as December 2024, they began occupying university buildings and organizing walks across the country, demanding full transparency over the train station construction documents and the detention of those responsible for the Novi Sad incident. An investigation has been launched, notably targeting the former Minister of Transport. However, the close ties between the individuals under investigation and those in power have raised serious concerns about the independence of the judicial process.
The main request comes related to the canopy collapse itself. So we're requesting that all the documentation regarding the reconstruction of the railway station and the canopy itself be made public. So far, some of the documentation has been published, however, we are still lacking financial documents related to that, so there's a huge suspicion that a lot of corruption was happening.
On March 15, 2025, an unprecedented mobilization in Belgrade brought together around 325,000 people across the country. During a moment of silence for the victims, authorities allegedly used a sonic weapon against the protesters. People suddenly began screaming and running, veering away from the center of the street as if an invisible car was speeding through the crowd.
I saw the sun cannon literally down the street at Skupština when it happened, and people started running towards us. I mean, honestly, I have never felt bigger fear in my life and probably never will. It was a lot of confusion, it was a lot of scared people. A lot of my friends and girls that were my friends were there, and they had ear damage, they had actually people stamped over them. It was absolute chaos. Our government currently did some sort of investigation, but it was not done out of pure heart, and it was not done really the way it was supposed to do. We do not accept that, because we know what happened there, and you cannot tell us that it didn't happen.
Despite the government reshuffle on April 16, 2025, which saw the appointment of a new prime minister, the President Aleksandar Vučić remains in power, and the popular uprising shows no sign of slowing down.
We requested that the Prime Minister and Mayor of Novi Sad resign. This happened, actually the whole government collapsed.
Students coordinate through a democratic system where each individual has the right to vote during plenums. Delegates from each faculty then gather to make decisions at the city level, with each faculty having one vote. Universities across the country coordinate to plan and carry out joint actions.
There are basically protests every few days that are organized by students in different cities around Serbia. Those are one of the things we have been organizing and are still organizing, either walks throughout Serbia, runs, cycling tours, and so on. There was a cycling tour going to Strasbourg that ended recently. Now there's ultramarathon happening towards Brussels. That's another thing that we're doing. We organize regular debates, as I've said already, and discussions on how to find a solution to all of this.
Alongside with the walking and the people on the bikes going to Brussels and stuff, there is actually also actions on RTS and Košutnjak. It is our national television that is blocked because they actually lied. They lied many times, and it was obvious that the government was directly connected with the corruption that was going on inside the national television. It is blocked for those reasons because we do not want people to lie to us, for our families, to our friends, or no one, because that is something that is public and should be nothing but the truth.
For 2 weeks, students occupied the headquarters of the public broadcaster to protest government interference in the media and to call for elections for new members of REM, Serbia's media regulatory authority. The occupation ended on April 28, following an official announcement that the elections would be held. During the protest, some RTS employees launched a petition calling for REM elections while showing their support to the students' movement.
The petition is to address the authorities, the Parliament of Serbia, who is in charge of forming that body. And that body is in charge of forming the management of radio television of Serbia and all the public services in Serbia, including Vojvodina. So it's in their charge to form the management of radio television of Serbia and all the public services, and that's a quite important role. Most of the medias, including the RDS here, are showing the, let's say, la-la land of where we live.
The RTS blockade emerged as a powerful example of civic solidarity and non-violent resistance. Citizens distributed food and drinks, while workers, bikers and veterans of Serbia's 1990s war secured the area to protect the students from police or pro-government intervention.
Our local rally have come all the way across the city here to support the students in their blockades here. Even on our first rally, we voted to support students no matter how, no matter where, no matter what. So this is one of our ways to show our support. We put up our own stand. We serve hot coffee, tea, juices, water, cold juices, homemade, pastry, pies, everything. We bring it here, serve it to the people who are coming here to also support the students. This is like the first major protest that has finally woken up a lot of political abstinent people in Serbia for the past 25 or 30 years, because politicians in the government and in the opposition could not do it because people never trusted politicians that much.
Svetlana is also part of the civic group that Matea belongs to. She joins the efforts to support the students nearly every evening.
We are determined to stay with them, to support them any way we can, because they are not kids. They are the best thing that Serbia has. They are like the cream of our society. And we need to protect them and cherish them. And that's why nothing that threatens us is important anymore. My life goal, my life aim to clean this country with these young people and make it ready for future generations, for my grandsons to come and enjoy the way they should. If you can imagine, we have 1/3 of fake positions, jobs, people who are receiving their paychecks and they do nothing just because they are close to the government. They have someone in a government, which is really a nepotism that should not exist nowadays.
Veterans of the 1990 Serbian war have aligned themselves with the student movement, committing to protect the young protesters.
Ustrajnost i da će doći do ispunjenja većine svih zahtjeva, zato što upornost i moralna obaveza je svih njih, a i nas da u tome istrajemo.
We are sure 100% to the request government must approve it. Because we are here and because we believe in students, and also the most of citizens of Serbia believes in students. Nobody wants to change anything in Serbia by using the force or violence. Only we want the system to do correctly their jobs. I hope we are fix this with peaceful.
Alongside the veterans, groups of bikers have joined in to protect the students.
The bikers started helping students when there was an incident the students were blockading the streets and holding 15 minutes of silence for the victims in the tragic accident in Novi Sad. And there was a car that went and struck students, tried to break the blockade. And after that, the bikers mobilized themselves immediately to provide cover with our bikes in front of the students so cars cannot hurt anybody. We are trying to end the corruption and just to get the system working, because it's not working. The institutions are not working. For example, the catalyst for all this was that tragic accident in Novi Sad, and nobody has been prosecuted. Nothing has been done. Everything is in a standstill, and we know why, because a lot of government officials are involved in that corruption. Yeah, so what future do these children have, the students have? And they led the charge. They led the charge with their energy, with their youth, and they woke us up as well. So we are just trying to support them, and also to be on the front with them as well, because they started it, the youth energy, everything that they have. But everybody needs to join in to get this to the end, you know, because the society is everybody's responsibility. So we need to do it together.
Public support for the student movement comes in many ways, from applauding them during their walks to donating supplies to the universities under blockade.
Honestly, saying that I went through many places and while walking and generally going to protests, people love them. People are so happy that someone actually gained a voice and that they can actually stand for something that's right. And the thousands of people that I have seen, I haven't seen maybe 100 that were against us. And that says something about it. It says actually a lot, that people are sick of the state of the government, they are sick of the state of their lives, and they want something better.
We are surviving thanks to donations of citizens, so that's one of the things that they're supporting us with. And also, whatever we organize, tons and tons of people that are actually coming and being ready to assist us with whatever we need. And we even get requests, regular requests, as how is it that we can help you? Can we offer help in this and that and so on? And I think the best example of how much support we are getting and how much the people are ready to support us is during those walks, as I said already, when we go from one city to another. And then you see whenever you go into a smaller village, a smaller town or something, like there are crowds of people gathered there that are ready to help, ready to donate something, ready to ask like how can we assist you and so on. So
meanwhile, government supporters have established a camp in front of the National Assembly, forming a sort of counter-movement. According to student allies, these demonstrators are allegedly being paid by the government to show support. This claim was backed by an N1 journalist, who, posing as a student interested in joining, recorded a video in which he contacted one of the organizers.
When you see the reactions of the government and what they are doing, for example, you can see the criminal camp that they put up in front of the parliament building, and what people that they bring there, and they're paying them, and they're doing some desperate moves.
They're in front of the assembly, and they're actively supporting the government. Are people who have chosen that it is more profitable to lose your integrity and honor for a little bit of cash versus doing what is right.
Sometimes, government supporters threaten or even attack students and those who back them.
There is a case in village called Đurđevo, where near Novi Sad, where one small business owner that owns a bus transport company, he stated that he's ready to drive everyone that supports students from villages nearby to the Belgrade to RTS blockade daily for free. After his first tour, few thugs broke inside his backyard and punctured tires on his bus. They also left him threats to kill his son over the phone call. So after that, he went out to public, to media, to say what happened, and he continued to drive all supporters of our protest to RTS daily.
In addition, the authorities are exerting pressure on protesters. Teachers and university staff are particularly targeted. Many have had their salaries suspended and some have been summoned by the police for questioning, like the dean of the Belgrade University. 6 activists from the Free Citizens Movement and a group of students against authoritarian government were arrested on March. Following public mobilization and the blockade of the Novi Sad courthouse by protesters, they were placed under house arrest on May 20.
They were targeted by Secret Service or police. They illegally spied on them, recorded the audio, their speech, and they took different parts of that conversation out of context in order to persecute them for being terrorists and going against constitutional order of Serbia.
Despite the continuing repression, the international reaction was relatively weak. Following students' visits to Brussels and Strasbourg, many Serbs have expressed disappointment at the European Union's response. Some suggest this is due to a deal President Vučić made with the EU in August 2024 to supply lithium, a key resource for the bloc's electric vehicle industry. Around the same time, the EU backed the lithium mining project in the Jadar Valley, led by multinational mining company Rio Tinto, against which large-scale protests regularly take place in Serbia.
Information about the things that are going on here is poor because the politics of our government is pointed to a commercial way of selling everything that Serbia has. And everyone sees its interest, every country sees its interest in that. We made many deals, very shady deals with a lot of countries, and everyone is interested in making money here. So that's why the reaction is poor, because the material interest is above the ethical.
Even though the students insisted that their movement wasn't political, many believed that real change would be hard to achieve as long as the president and his party remained in power.
Our faculty voted on whether we expected this government to fulfill the requests of the students. We came to a realization that that most likely will not happen.
In start, students were not, didn't want to go in like, this is not political, but they are also learning, they're young people, they're also learning that if you're doing something for the society, you're doing something politically, right? We're going to come to an election, certainly, and now nobody knows exactly what the solution is going to be.
We do not have a proper opposition which would fulfill our needs or our expectations, because everyone is dirty at this point. And the answer would be the experts, the educated people who are experts in their own field, and they could help rebuild this country.
At the time this video was filmed, the student movement had been going on for nearly 6 months. While they obtained some results, like elections for a new media regulatory authority and a government reshuffle, most of their demands still had not been met. The main one is the condemnation of those responsible for the Novi Sad accident. In addition, they were calling for broader systemic reforms and an end to widespread corruption. On May 6, students introduced a new demand: fresh parliamentary elections. So far, no election date has been announced.
As long as they're not fulfilled, we're not gonna move back. And I think the motivation is still very, very high. It is tiring. We would like to maybe continue with what we were doing before, but we are ready to still withhold until we fulfill what we set out to do.
We hope they fulfill the requests as soon as possible. And until then, we will not stop fighting, and we will not stop walking, and we will not stay quiet.
it's not the thing is, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And for example, after the 15th of March, the largest protest in Belgrade in history of Serbia, people were thinking like, oh, we need to do everything on that day, we need to finish everything then. But that's not true. That was only the beginning of that like marathon. It's a small, inch by inch, step by step fight to get to the justice.